What's up, everybody? Jason, Adventure Radio Off Grid, doing another container rundown. This is another one from that batch of the same, beige tan, yellowish tan, kind of earthy tone one trips I have coming up. So just picked this up down in Long Beach. This will be coming up early next week. I have a couple of these coming up, and I think I have maybe a blue one. I'm not sure. Anyway, so this is another one of that same batch. One had multiple vents down it. One had one vent in the corner, one in the opposite corner. This one has one in each corner. So that's kind of weird that they're a little bit different, even though they're from the same batch. I mean, the same sequence of numbers and everything. If you watched a short I put up earlier, I mean, there's a stack of them a mile high, maybe 8 high, 30 or 40 wide at the port I get them from. So anyway, this thing's the same as the last couple, the same color you saw. This one is 203904 with a big 6 in the box, whatever that means. This thing also comes with a lock box. They said most of these should, so obviously I'll make note of it when I run out of the ones with the lock box. A normal lock box, $65 for a box, and depending if it's welded on or riveted on or screwed on, usually most companies charge about $250 to $300 to put one of those on there, believe it or not. So talking about the lock box right there, if you're not familiar with it, I'll show you how that works as I get closer to this thing. But this thing's beautiful, perfect condition. They are touching up the corners of these things. There's no damage to them. It just gets scuffed from the forklift. So if you get up close to this one, I'll show you a little bit of paint variance at the bottom there. Very, very minimal right there. So that's original paint. That's a coat that they're throwing on these pillars. Got a little kiss right there, but other than that, it's pristine. So basically, when the forklifts grab these, you can kind of see in the cleats at the top, they're going to grab today. It grabs onto it and uses pressure to hold them in place, or they'll grab on them at 2 sections, and it'll make a pressure point at 2 sections. And I don't mean a dent or a divot. It'll just make a little scuff, like what you kind of see up here. So they're not trying to hide anything with these things. They're just making them look a little more pretty. This company I get these from also does container modifications, as do most companies these days. So they put doors in them, and corrugated roll-up doors and man doors and things like that. They also sell modular homes that I'm looking at possibly bringing up. America, that's pretty cool. So these things are just super clean. But so since they modify, they put these, as they pull them off and get ready to load them, if they have the time, they clean up the corners, he said, which is cool. So my last one didn't have that, but it had a couple little, a forklift scuff here, forklift scuff there. It's nothing. So and if you wanted to, for rust prevention, you could do a little dab. The pillars are the most stout part of this, so on normal usage as storage or a tiny house or something on your property, I mean, that's not going to rust out before you're long gone. So I hate to be morbid, but a little scuff like that wouldn't cause any major cancerous rust damage until you and maybe another generation was gone. These things last forever. So anyway, so this thing's in super clean shape. No dents on the pillars. Hard to get this one by the wall here. Like I said, this will be up in northeast Arizona, Concho, Show Low area, Taylor, Snowflake area by probably middle of next week. I'm trying to get all 3 of the new ones I just picked up there. Just depends if I can get up there or how fast I can go back and forth. And right now we're doing well. The truck's in good shape. I just did a ton of maintenance on the dualies, so we should be good. But yeah, the handles are in phenomenal shape. Once again, this is a 1 trip, meaning that this thing did 1 trip across the seas and did not go back into rotation. It came right out and was sold to, or bought from the shipper or the seller, or the shipper, and put into rotation, or into the lot, and then did not go into rotation. So this is literally a 1 trip. It came out overseas. I don't know how many days, could be 10 days, 20 days, 100 days on the sea, whatever it may be, but it came 1 trip from China, Taiwan, wherever it may come from. Mostly most of these come from Asia, so it came over and it didn't get put back in rotation. When they get put back in rotation, they go, I think it's 15 to 18 years before they come out, for whatever reason. I'm not sure why that equation is what I'm thinking, other than what I've been told. I don't know how they come up with those numbers, but when you have a wind and watertight, cargo worthy, or other variances are not 1 trip. 1 trip is the top of the line, so this is it. I mean, unless you went over and had one built for you and helicoptered it to your house, which they don't make them to make this container in the US with all the restrictions. This would be like probably $10,000 to $15,000 they would charge for the paint and all that, you know, just all the EPA and everyone having their hands in the pot. This literally would probably be like a $15,000 crate to make this in America, which is just, it's crazy. But anyway, and the inflation is the inflation, guys. It still hasn't gone down. There's still not an overabundant supply of these, no matter who tells you what or who's building walls with them or taking walls down or doing whatever. There is not the same supply on the land or available coming in and out that we had pre-zombie apocalypse. That threw a whole curveball, and everyone got behind on building these and got behind on shipping or needing these. And then when the demand came back up, they're just doing the hustle to catch back up. They had to build a lot of new ones, so there are some new ones coming, I guess more so than before, but they don't have a lot of used ones because there just wasn't a lot of them in, you know, going back in rotation at that time. They've been used for other things. So I guess to step back, for a while we didn't have one trips, okay? So now we have a lot of one trips coming in because they're having to build them, you know, because the demand's so high. So not affecting the prices in a positive way, unfortunately. I'm trying to get the best deals I can, but you know, as I get a deal, I'll definitely pass it along if possible. So handles work amazing. Latches can be locked, so you can put a latch on here, a lock, a lock, a lock, and a lock. The lock box is this piece right here. And if you look up inside here, it does have an area where that little round catch will come through there, and you can put a padlock up in there. And that's the idea, is to keep a, you know, a blade or a, you know, a grinder from coming from the side or from the bottom. Like here, you can grind these locks off if you really want to get, you know, ambitious. On mine, I put a lock on this one and this one just to kind of scare people off. Realistically, if you get into this lock, you can get into whatever's in there. It's, you know, you can pull out whatever's less wide than the whole container. But I put them on both of those. If I have a lockbox, I put a lock up in here. That lock's just a deterrent, you know, and it's a harder one to get to. So as usual on these one trips, like I said, I came overseas one time. The seals were amazing. Rubbers are amazing. All the putty they put to keep everything, you know, marine safe for the ocean is still brand new. These will outlast any one of you that buy it, and it'll outlast me. My kids will have these, and then it'll maybe outlast them. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, floors in immaculate shape here. Walls are in immaculate shape, and like I said, this one has 1, 2, 3, and 4 vents. I mean, you can buy these vents if anyone ever needs parts for or shipping containers that buys from me. I'm not going to become a parts warehouse, but or if you didn't buy from me, I would just get you directed to where you can go buy the parts. There's companies that make these loops. They make the door handles. They make the seals. They make the vent caps. They make other things that don't come on a lot of these containers. They're very unusual parts. So there are parts you can buy, or places you can buy stuff from in the US to outfit a container, or spruce one up if you have an older one that you wanted to put some time and money into. And like I said, I'm not gonna become a parts company or a parts provider. I mean, I don't plan to ever be that big. I have no desire to. Trying to, you know, this is a very small operation. I want to keep it that way. But if you guys ever needed some parts, go ahead and put it in the comments there, and I'll direct you the right way. I'm not looking to make 50 cents on a part, or, you know, there's lock boxes they gouge you pretty good, but I'm not looking to make money on people on that kind of stuff. Now, if I put a lock box on a container by request, or paint a container, or, you know, add somebody to a container, yeah, I got to charge accordingly because it's my time and it's my money to buy the parts. So anyway, the floor's in unbelievable condition here. I mean, look how shiny those bolts are. I mean, you got forklift came through here, obviously unloaded. But look at the bolts. I mean, there's no calcification, no issues. You got a couple little divots, some catches, you know, a paddle catch here and there. So it's not perfect. It's but the only big divot I see. You can even see the wood grain in this thing. It's amazing. So it's amazing shape. So these things are built just as tough as nails. So they're just awesome. And once again, as is like a trash container. Wind and watertight is a container that looks pretty rough, but still holds the wind and water out. A cargo worthy is the same, but then the pillars themselves in the corners, that cleat, the bottom cleat, that column, the structural integrity, but basically the exterior, you know, the corner framing and the supports for the floor and the walls are going to be stackable and cargo worthy. So cargo worthy is a wind and watertight that can still pass inspection and be shipped overseas. So, and normally the cargo worthy seem to have a better patina right here. This is brand new, so there's nothing. A lot of times you get an as is, or even the wind and watertight. I mean, even some I get, it is what it is. They'll have a lot of patina on here where technically they're still sealing, but they're not on their best day. This is not a big deal. You can take and sand this down and put in some primer real easy and resurrect it. You can buy these seals, like I said. It's not really hard to replace them or put them on there. The seal goes all the way around the door, but you can buy this stuff if you needed to, as long as the doors aren't rotted out to where it won't hold this and it's got any issues. But this is one trip will never have that. This is a pristine, unbelievably super clean, eat off the floor one trip. It's ridiculous. So and one thing to look at, I mean, we can't guarantee what's inside all these containers, and they can say, any of these shippers or brokers can tell you, oh, never had any hazmat, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if it's 18 years, not this, but if it was a different quality and 18 years in circulation, I'd have a hard pressed to believe that someone knows the entire manifest report of that's whereabouts for the entire 18 years. You probably could request it, I guess, and maybe get a hold of it. But anyway, it'd be pretty hard to imagine that. So I'm going to say the one trip is the one way you can guarantee that you got no chemical issues. It's clean as can be. It's not going to have anything that was toxic or bad inside the container. It's usually going to be I guess it could be anything, but that's not what we run into. The one trips are guaranteed to be clean and sanitary and free of any sort of hazardous materials or anything like that. So anyway, if someone's interested in this one, let me know. I have a little bit of a waiting list right now on containers because my truck was down last month. I sold or got rid of a couple containers, but I did have a little bit of a Congo line with a waiting list. I don't try and make people wait around. If I can't provide for you, I totally understand going somewhere else. At the same time, I do try and follow up with anyone that did put a request in. So if you did request a container of any form, I will let you know that I have this coming up and 2 more of these, and then I'm going to bring probably 2 wind and water tied up after that. But I can tell you these are going faster. The one trips are the thing right now. They're a little more costly, unfortunately, but people see these and it's almost impossible to talk them into a one trip or a wind and water tower or cargo worthy, because these are just so clean and so nice. They do cost you more up front, but you're going to have this for the rest of your life, and if you want to, and the resale is going to be through the roof on this. I mean, finding these private party is almost impossible right now, and if someone has one this clean private party, they kind of know the value, and then they'll hit you pretty good on what they want for it. Then you got to find someone to pick it up and ship it and everything else. So anyway, long story short, this one's going to be available. It'll be up into Northeast Arizona, like I said, Concho, Sholo, Snowflake, and Taylor, St. John's, in that area. By the middle to the end of next week, I'll have 2 to 3 of these coming in, and I will have a couple of as is condition, my personal ones. I'm going to put 2 of mine back into rotation here real soon and put them up for sale after I do a couple of modifications and a little cleanup on them. They'll be discounted, but there's nothing for free these days, unfortunately. I mean, it's hard to replace those things. I couldn't find them for what I got those for 2 years ago or a year and a half ago if I wanted to. So but yeah, ask any questions you have, any comments, throw them in there. Like I said, I try and be an open book on this kind of stuff. And like I said, if you have questions, put them in there. And if you need a 20-foot shipping container, let me know. I'm still only doing the 20s. I'm not getting the 40s yet. I am going to be buying, I was going to buy it last month, but I had my truck went down and it cost about half what my trailer cost. So that's just part of the breaks of the game, man. You drive a dually for work and you haul all day long. The wear and tear, it could be a big part or a small part, but that's life. So so I'm looking to get a upgrade from my 24-foot trailer here and throw a 40-foot behind this bad boy, and I'll probably do it in probably late June most likely. So don't hold me to it. You'll definitely see an announcement when I have the bigger trailer, and that just means that for me it's more efficient. I can bring two containers up at a time. I have had access to a 40-foot trailer before and done that, so it is more efficient. Just costs a lot of money to get the trailer that I want, not a typical trailer, a tilt trailer that can provide service right to someone's home and pick up in remote areas. So and then also I'll be able to provide 40-footers. Like I said, I'm going to be building with some 40-footers on one of my main properties. So I need it for my own personal use. So I'd be buying it regardless of what I do for the little, side income. So I'm going to be getting one regardless. And I'm hoping to get it by the end of June. And then I'll provide, 40-footers as well. And we'll just kind of see how it goes. They're not as popular right now because the cost is just through the roof, and nothing's tapered off like everyone's hoping. The material costs in this world are still crazy. That's the one, I guess, fortunate part for what I do is you can't build a wooden structure even remotely close to this integrity and the same size as a footprint basically for even what what we're selling these for. So it's not even close. I mean, you could barely get the materials for that cost, and you'd have to still build it, which is part of the fun, but not everyone can do that. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. And like I said, we'll have a twin of this coming up, and then another one, I believe like I said, might be a blue. I can't remember. Can't remember what I committed to. So we'll see what that one looks like. I should know by tomorrow on that one. Thanks, guys. Stay safe out there. If you need anything, reach out. Right on.